JCLady. Hello, this is Joanna from the channel JCLady Alternative Education, and today we've got the next video from the series about the ancient grammar, Polish grammar as an example of the ancient grammar. And today I want to talk about tenses, and it's a strange topic. In Polish we call them not really tenses, we call them times, we could say. And what I'm going to say in all this video, it's like the most important thing is that I decided, analyzing the grammar, all the forms, analyzing also other languages, I decided that there should be only 3 tenses. In Polish we would say 3 czasy, and czas is time, so 3 times we would say, basically. And why? Because it has to be aligned with the philosophy, with ancient knowledge, and according to that, there are only 3 kind of spheres. There are only 3 aspects, we could say, of time. We can be really aligned, and we really are all the time in present. And that's one, right? That's the most important. That's present. That's present tense, or that present time. It should be the same, basically. Now, present is in the middle. When you draw any table, or when you draw the line of time, present has to be always in the middle, because it is the middle. When we meditate, we want to center ourselves, and what do? We say that we are in present. When we want to focus on our body and our breathing, we want to be in present. So present is most important, it's in the middle. That's how you draw it. This is in Polish, times, tenses, if you wish, but here is present. In Polish it's called teraźniejszy. Teraz, it means now. So it's the time, the tense that is talking about now. Nowadays, teraźniejszy. Now, after that, we've got 2 sides. And basically, according to ancient philosophy, Slavic philosophy as well, and according to Polish grammar, ancient grammar, because now it's a little mixed, we've got only 2 left, which is past and present, and that's it. Present, past and future, sorry. Present, przeszły, which is past, przeszły, something that passed, and przyszły, something that goes into the future. And as you see here, there are 2 sides of the present, because that's how when you draw the line of time, just a simple line of time, there's something in the middle, and it's present. It's usually where you are now, and then on the left there is past, and that's logical. And left of your body, not really brain. We are not talking about the brain now, but left of your body is this part more chaotical, you can say, more potential. That's a potential, that's a beginning, that's more female part. And this is the past, emotions also, all that. But basically the beginning is female potential. And as in aspect, right, as in philosophy. And to the right is the future, and that's more male, because male always energy goes to the future. It wants to break through, to discover new, right, go forward. So that's right, and that's male, and that's future, przyszły in Polish. So when we talk about tenses or times, like in Polish, because in Polish it's more czasy, like in French it's temps, it's the same. But then you talk about forms, right? But we can like agree that when you talk about tenses, in English even, you should say that there are only 3 of them. So what about all those forms, even that exist even in Polish, I will talk about in a moment? Well, they are just aspects. When I've been studying English philology, for teaching, like for teachers, future teachers, I had a perfect, great grammar lady, grammar teacher, and she was explaining that way, that we have only three, you can say, time and space aspects, and that's present, past and future, or past, present and future. And after that, what you've got, that's aspects of that, meaning that here, present, past and future, that's main categories, 3 main categories. And after that, you can find aspects of it. Therefore, it shouldn't be said, either in Polish or French or English, that we've got like 16 tenses, or like, I don't know, even 5 or 6, because those are aspects. If I count every form, like way of speaking about my actions, yeah, I would have like tenses, even 16, but that's not really proper to say it. We live only in present, past and future, right? We can talk only about those 3 dimensions. And grammar is very logical, and it should be put like that. That's it. And therefore, those aspects, for example, what do we talk exactly about? There's a problem, for example, of perfect. And that lady at my studies, that was really like, I was, wow, that was a big wow, an aha moment, when she said that, come on, there are just aspects for all of those tenses. Present, past and future have aspects, and in Polish is the same. Those aspects are, you can have a simple aspect, and in Polish they removed it from grammar, basically, but it exists in the language. The aspect, simple aspect, basically is usually repetitive. Sometimes there are nuances. It's differ, right, in different tenses. But the idea, the basic idea, is that it repeats. You can do it several times. Of simple, right? Simple aspect. You focus on that. And in present, it's most visible. And in Polish, it's called wielokrotny, and it means repetitive. That's aspect. And but you can have it here. You can have it simple. You can have, like in English, past simple, present simple, future simple, right? Polish is the same. Wielokrotny przeszły, teraźniejszy, przyszły. Now, another aspect is jednokrotny, that's continuous, right? And it's not another tense. It's another form, all right? It's another form of speaking, expressing your action, but that's not really another tense. Like, it's not another, in a sense, that tense. If tense means time, then it's not another time dimension. No, it's an aspect of time. You can have continuous when you focus really on the action, on now, even if it's past, right, or future. You focus really on that one time action. And in Polish it's the same, and it's called jednokrotny. It's like one time aspect, or continuing, right? And one more problem, one more aspect is perfect. So something can be perfect or not perfect. And usually we say, okay, perfect, especially in Latin. And people who learn Latin, then they say, oh, perfect is just past tense. Well, not exactly. Perfect is an aspect, and you can even have perfect in the future dimension. You can, you know it. In English you have it. We have it in Polish. I can talk about something that I will have done, right? Będę miał zrobione. That's in Polish. And that's aspect of time, of tense, of those three dimensions. All of them have this kind of aspect. Meaning, it's more exactly like, how will you do that action? It's not like really when. It's like, how will you do it? Perfect is like, will you finish or not finish? That's it. That's what perfect is. But I will talk about it more in another video. Now, the problem is, for example, in Polish, the problem is of za przeszły, and in Latin, it comes from Latin because Poles had all the heritage of Poles and Slavic basically was removed, destroyed, books and all of that, but it stayed in the language, of course. And the first really books that were written by Poles were 18th, 19th century, and before that the grammar books were written by foreigners who didn't really understand Polish much, or by monks, Catholic monks, and they were really skewing the idea of Slavic faith, and grammar is expressing Slavic faith and knowledge, ancient knowledge. Now what I'm saying is that there is, in Latin, there is this plusca perfectum plus something like that. That's what it means. It's like in Polish it's say za przeszły, and what it means, it's like past more than past. Past more than past. In English it corresponds to your perfect aspects, right? You've got past perfect and present perfect. So your past perfect would correspond to those plusque perfect, plusquam perfectum. Plusque parfait, I think it exists in French. And what it is, the problem is that there is no notion, there is no saying that there is a past, more past than the past. No, doesn't exist in philosophy. Okay, you cannot say there is such a tense, however you say it, right? But you are talking about forms, basically, when you say that you've got past perfect or present perfect. Present perfect, you usually mean that it's that the action was terminated, finished. All right, that's what perfect is. It's dokonane in Polish. That's aspect talking about finishing. imperfect is like not finished. And in Polish, the problem is that the grammar people, the professor of grammar, they were saying that there was this tense za przeszły, and it had some forms, all right? That it had some forms, like for example, the form is it will be in Polish, but I will show you. Ona była, poszła. It would be like she was, went. All right, and you can find it in some literature, but that's basically Catholic literature, and that's like Middle Ages. Now, I'm not talking about Middle Ages, and we do not have all the books. We do not have all the books. We have some of them, and they are Catholic, so they are not really credible to me. And I'm talking about the ancient grammar, and I think that in ancient grammar we didn't really call it za przeszły, meaning plusquamperfectum. No, it's like tense with some kind of aspect for it. You can give it a name, but you cannot say we've got like many tenses, and that we've got like a plusquamperfectum za przeszły. I don't believe that. I believe that because what it is, plusquamperfectum, what it is, it's just a past that was finished. Action finished in the past, but that's still past, and aspect of it finished action. Right, that's it. And the other problem is aorist. Now, aoristus, it's from Latin, and many grammar concepts in those grammar that were written by foreigners basically for themselves, because they wanted to understand Polish. Poles didn't really want to have grammar books, and in the time of Middle Ages, and then 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th century, there was a huge taboo about literature. Even in Renaissance, they didn't really write about it. And I think it was a taboo from those people who were hiding the ancient grammar on purpose. Okay, aorist is a tense that we say sometimes that it exists in Polish, but it's taken from Latin again. Aorist, it means something undescribed. And that's the problem, because they say, oh, it's a past tense. But what past? Oh, it's a past perfect. Sometimes it's just say past perfect, sometimes it's present perfect. There are at least 3 descriptions of it. So it's not really clear. And when you find, for example, like, okay, what are the forms? So there are such forms as widziech, widzie, widzie. Now, to me, those forms look like present. And it's not credible, simply. And I don't see the need for that tense. For me, that tense is just present. Maybe some dialectal, like from dialects, sometimes you say widziech, like there is this briefing, like when you talk. That's not another form. And otherwise, I would say it's just perfect, meaning that's the finished action. So that's I don't use it. I don't put it in my grammar. It's not a tense to me. It's not a time aspect. I mean, it's not a. It could be a time aspect, but I don't give it a name like that. To me, names are only like that: present, past, future. That's the names for dimensions, time dimensions. And after that, I give the names for the forms, proper forms of aspects. And the aspects are like in English, like simple, continuous and perfect. In Polish it's jednokrotny, wielokrotny, dokonany. And another problem is that people say that in Polish we've got 2 future tenses. And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. 2 future tenses, 2 future times. And I see it sometimes in French also. It's like they will have I will go. Okay, they have je vais aller, j'irai. So that's 2 future. And you've got some like I'm going to go or I will go. All right, but that doesn't mean again that it's like a few futures. Again, that's aspects. And in Polish, we've got that are aspects, because we've got future, and most future, like mostly future, is expressed with the composed forms, because there are 2 words. And we say, like in English, I will go, and we say exactly similar, będę szła, meaning we could say I will go, będę szła. It means I will be go, something like that. But what I'm saying is that this is a proper form for aspect simple and continuous for future. And it's composed, there are 2 words. But for perfect in future, aspect perfect, perfectus, the form was different. And we can say it's another form, because but in this perfect aspect, the form of present and future is the same. Why? Because when you've got perfect, this aspect, perfect aspect, it means that something is not only finished. It just means that it's immediately finished. It's immediately done. That's what really dokonany, perfect is. But I will talk about in separate video about that, because this is like the most manifesting form, right? Aspect, perfect. And that's how you have those 2 future forms in Polish. One is composed from 2 words, and one is from 1 word. But I will probably not really talk exactly, because there are problems with some words, like pójdę. We say pójdę, it's a future form, while in the sense it was done, and before it was poidnę, and it really was future perfect. Now po is just a prefix, and I talked about it, and it just means a space and time. It doesn't mean perfect. There must have been poidnę for the perfect form, but now we don't have it. But we've got in others, like sprzątnę, zacznę. That's perfect aspect of future, right? For that aspect. Let's leave it for now. The most important here is that it is there are 3 tenses, 3 times, right? Dimensions: present, past, and future. That's it. And when I'm talking about it in my grammar, I'm just describing it like that. That's the whole grammar table, and I will talk in a separate video. And here I'm putting like past, present, and future, right? Past, present, and future, because it depends on the aspect. You've got also passive and active, and so on. That's it from me. So remember that your language manifests the world.